On the previous lesson, we learned some essential musical symbols and terms that you need in order to learn to read music. At the top of lesson 2, you'll see some homework pages and just things to fill out that will help reinforce those concepts. One of the most important symbols that I think a lot of students misunderstand is the concept of a time signature. If you look through the lines of lesson number 2, you're going to see that time signature at the beginning of each line, and it's not always the same. The way I reinforce this concept in my students' mind, and I'll give you a little exercise to do, is that I start off with my students playing on the beat, every single beat, while they count out loud to a time signature that I call out. For instance, if I called out 4/4 time, they would do this: 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. If I called out 3/4, they would do this: 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. If I called out 7/4 time, they would do this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is very, very important that you get the concept of how to count in different time signatures, because music isn't always in 4/4. Now, another important thing that I have my students do is to learn how to tap their foot while they play. And this is very important for this reason. As percussionists, we have to learn how to be coordinated between our hands and our feet. For instance, if I'm playing drum set, I'm not playing with my foot all the time that my hands are playing. Got to be able to play different things. If I'm in the marching band in the high school, I've got to make sure that I can play one thing with my hands while my feet keep a steady tempo. So we're going to develop that early here by learning to tap our foot while we're playing. So where that is kind of important, it's pretty easy to tap your foot when all you're doing is playing, but it's kind of a little bit more difficult to have a rest when you're not playing in your hands, but you have to continue to tap your foot. What I have my students do is to think of playing their foot instead of tapping their foot. So if I was sitting down behind a drum set, I would actually play my foot on the bass drum on every beat. So if I have a line like this: 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, rest. On those rests, I would actually play my foot, okay? Not just on the rest, but every single beat. So I'm thinking 1, 2, 3, foot. 1, 2, 3, foot. In fact, I have my students say foot out loud while they work on these lines, and it helps them to reinforce that something actually happens during that rest. It's just not a period of silence. All right, so what I'd like you to do is, on this lesson, go to the appendix on page number 54. Start off there, because these lines are meant to be repetitive and simple so that you can kind of get that concept in your head. There are 12 different lines. They're all in 4/4 time, so practice through these lines first. On day number 1, set the metronome on 80. See if you can get through each line perfectly at 80 beats per minute while you tap your foot and count out loud. Counting out loud is very important as well. Now, let me reinforce to you that I don't turn loose of all of my techniques. I don't stop thinking about how I'm playing. I'm not all of a sudden Gorilla Man playing like this while I'm playing these quarter notes. Everything looks perfect because I'm reinforcing what I've done good on all of those technique exercises. Then, after you've gotten through all those appendix lines, go back to the playing exercises, practice counting and playing out loud with those playing exercises. 80 the first day, 90 the next day, 100. Once you get up to about 110, you should be able to put in that CD, accompaniment CD number 1, track number 3, and play along with that. That'll be really cool, kind of a reward for being able to play all of those lines. Now, along with this, don't just stop everything and work on that for 4 days before you continue with the other techniques that are on this page. Along with this, go ahead and watch the next video lesson and learn how to do the next technique called the multiple bounce.